Hello and welcome everyone, and congrats! You've already made the first step towards your success if you're today with us here. So, to achieve even greater accomplishments, please network. Please share your names, your positions, expectations in the chat. Networking is the key to success, and maybe that's one of the ways you can find your study buddies. And I will tell you everything about this wonderful technique for learning. So guys, while I hope you're sharing your names in the chat, let's picture this. So a new project is starting and it requires using new technology or some methods that you've never used before. And well, you're feeling the pressure, of course, to catch up and learn the new skills really quickly, but you still have tasks. Your workload just keeps increasing and usual learning methods do not fit into your packed schedule. But what if there was a way to learn more efficiently and with less effort? What if you could achieve your professional success with minimal time investments? That's exactly what we are going to explore in today's webinar with you. So my name is Anna. I am a teacher and an educational designer. I have 9 years of experience developing and facilitating educational courses, conducting group and individual classes, and designing training programs both for soft and hard skills. And today I'm here to equip you with the tools to change your learning journey. So at Syberry, we are convinced that combining well-defined processes, engineering approach, and science-backed methods can transform your project work and also learning experience. So today we'll debunk with you common learning myths. We will also explore some proven learning strategies, and of course we'll discover how to apply these newfound skills to skyrocket your career growth. But before we start, I'd like to ask you a question, guys. I'm sure that everyone here is experienced in learning, right? You've taken many courses, I'm sure. You've read a lot of articles and books. So let's start our poll and find out what your favorite learning style is. So guys, please choose one option that you find to be your favorite. All right. All right, cool. Okay, more and more people joining and voting, wonderful. Okay, so as I see, watching tutorials and taking online courses, well, also reading, right? Okay, wonderful, wonderful, guys. We'll find out a little bit later which one is most effective, or maybe none of them really work. Yeah, we'll see a little bit later with you. So, and today I have a friend who'll be helping me telling you about the wonderful strategies. So let me introduce Alex. He is a skilled and experienced Java developer. He has a proven track record of successful projects. Well, and one day he was assigned to work on a new fintech project. And this project required financial terminology and knowledge. And of course, he felt overwhelmed and unsure of himself. Every time he was listening to his customer, telling about the requirements, they used a lot of terms, and his brain was just exploding. But as I said, Alex is a cool guy. Yeah, he's a smart guy. So of course, he wanted to catch up quickly. And he spent countless hours reading decent books, watching online tutorials, and learning terms. But still, his progress was slow and frustrating. He found it difficult to grasp the concepts, and his attempts to apply the new knowledge often resulted in errors and setbacks. So guys, any ideas why? What are some possible reasons why Alex's learning was not successful? Let's share in the chat. So he was reading books, he was watching videos, yeah, like everything that you mentioned in the poll. He was doing all of that, and still no progress. Any ideas why? I will give you 1 minute. Okay, Okay, we have a really cool idea here. Good. Wonderful, guys. You have really nice ideas. Yeah, so passive consumption, right? He wasn't actually applying his skills. No structure, no practice and errors. Yeah, theory without practice is worthless. Agree with you. He's a Java developer. You think that's the reason? Well, do not think so. I'm sure that developers are like Superman, right? I'm sure that they are capable of anything. Lack of motivation. Okay, no learning strategy. I see. Well, yeah, guys, actually, you've mentioned a few things that I'm going to talk about, but not all of them, actually. So let's discuss the 5 top mistakes that he made, and I'm sure that a lot of people make when they try to learn something. Well, some of you mentioned something about the structure, right? So yeah, of course, Alex studied everything he could find online, watched online courses, consulted various sources, but what was the goal? Like, he had no understanding of what to learn. So what and why do you want to learn? That's the main question you should start any learning with. Once you know the answer, then you can develop a plan to achieve your goals. So first of all, set clear, specific learning goals to know what you want to achieve and why it's important to you. So the more specific you can be about it, the better you can design your path towards this achievement. So before starting any education, ask yourself, is this something I would actually do in the real world? If your answer is no, then, like someone mentioned, it's just theory without practice, and it's, well, mostly worthless. Of course, if you are cramming for an exam, in this case, yeah, this method will work, and of course it's needed, but you will forget anything in just a week, or maybe the next day even. So if you're really trying to learn something that you need for your work, that you need to apply, then try to find the things that you will actually do, not just some theory, everything you can find online in articles. And then ask yourself second question, how can I tell when I've done it? What will be the indicator of my achievement? When will I understand that, okay, I'm done, here I can stop, right? Because again, if you do not understand what is the indicator of your achievement of particular skill, in this case, it's just never-ending journey. So make sure your learning objectives are useful and usable. So what can help us, right? What can help us on this way? First of all, do not try to take and consume a lot of information. Most learning experiences are structured around lots of new information. Even some well-designed courses are structured this way. Lots and lots of new information. Every new lesson adds up. And the problem with this is that it's exhausting. So break down complex topics into smaller, more meaningful chunks. And this will make it easier and less overwhelming. Just imagine that you have to study some particular technology and you set your goal as like learn, I don't know, Java for example. What does it mean? What should I start with? Yeah, like what particular tasks can I complete? That's a little bit unclear, and remember, when our brain gets overwhelmed, unfortunately that results in procrastination. So that's why break down any complex topic and step by step move towards your success. So the best way to set a goal is of course to use a SMART goal. So guys, I have one more question. Let's start our poll here. So do you set SMART goals when learning? Have you ever tried? Okay. Okay, I see that some of you do. That's really wonderful. Okay. But the second option wins. I know about them, but never used them. And some of you even do not know what they mean. All right, so let's, in this case, discuss how we can use SMART goals to improve our learning experience. Well, first of all, what does it mean, SMART, right? That's an acronym. So each letter stands for a specific characteristic of the goal that you are to set. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's say that you are a junior developer and you aim to study Python. So again, you can tell yourself like, I will learn Python. A little bit overwhelming. So instead of that, try to create better goals. For example, make it specific. I will learn to use this programming language to create some simple web applications by the end of the year. So in this sentence, you already know what you will use it for, right? And you already set yourself some deadline. Make it measurable. Yeah, add some numbers. Like I will complete, for example, 20 coding tutorials and write 5 scripts. Remember, better to set achievable goals, right? You do not want to get a little bit disappointed, yeah, if you do not accomplish that. So you can set yourself an achievable goal like I will dedicate at least 2 hours per week to learn it, and I will seek help from online forums and communities when that's needed. I guess that's pretty easy to achieve. Of course, your goal should be relevant. Again, you're going to study really hard. That takes a lot of effort. And your brain, it will not be so happy about it. So that's why you have to explain it to it. You have to explain to your brain and to yourself why this particular knowledge is relevant. Yeah, what is the relevance of it? So you can explain it this way. Well, still in my example, it's a little bit broad. Yeah, I'm sure that you can find the relevance to your particular job a little bit better. So for example, learning Python will help me advance my career. Or for example, it will help me improve this project, or I will get a new project, for example, and it will be really interesting and my career will go up. And one more really important thing is to make them time bound. Yeah, so set yourself deadline, because again, without deadlines, your learning can go forever. I guess everyone here has experience of learning English. For example, for qualification assessment, sometimes we have requirement to improve our English up to, for example, B2 level. Yeah, and if you have, for example, B1, you set yourself a goal, get higher, yeah, get this upper intermediate one. And then, again, you get stuck because, like, what does it really mean? What will be the outcome? What particular topics will I learn? And what particular structures I need? So that's why always try to set specific goals. Yeah, like, talk to yourself. Ask yourself what kind of topics you need for your work. Yeah, like what kind of particular communication will be needed. And then try to go step by step to learn it. So I'm sure that everyone here has some particular learning expectations, right? So guys, try to now write down in our chat your particular goal. Yeah, right now think about what particular thing you'd like to learn and create a SMART goal. So try it out, make it specific, make it measurable, achievable, and relevant. Okay, and I will comment by the end of our webinar. I hope I'll see a few of them, and I will comment on each at the end of our today's meeting. All right, so what else can help us to set really nice goals? Well, oh, I'm sorry, I had some technical issues, I guess. Sorry for that, guys. So Next thing that we need to do is to identify what we need to know to reach our goal. Agree? If you said yes, well, you're wrong. Because to identify what you need to know, it's almost the last step of setting the right goal. Now, after identifying what you need to do, you need to identify the particular actions and skills that you need for completing that. So do not focus on the knowledge you need. Try to find the skills that you must acquire to achieve your learning goal. This will help you create a plan of action, and this will help you break down your learning into manageable chunks. So for example, again, if we have this really broad goal to learn Python, some particular tasks can be like learning the basics of the syntax and data types, for example, or understand the control flow statements like loops and conditional statements, for example, or learn to work with functions and modules, practice object-oriented concepts, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so break it down. Yeah, like understand what particular things you need to do, and after that, yeah, you can come up with the tasks. Yeah, so that will help you practice making the decisions that you would make it on your job. So take each task and try to identify what particular practices, what particular actions they would require. So this is actually the excellent way to apply your learning to real world situations. So for instance, if you're a project manager who wants to introduce a new productivity tool, you can create a task list and prioritize items based on urgency and importance. You can schedule some meetings and manage your calendar using these tool features, for example, or you can collaborate with your colleagues on projects and track their progress using these tool tracking features. And so you have right now, the goal, actions and skills that you need. You've created some tasks that you will use to practice these particular actions, and only now you know and you can identify what you must know to complete each task. So you see, only now you can find the information that is needed for the particular things you want to learn. So once you have identified the tasks, you identify the 20% of skills and knowledge that will give you 80% of the result in your field. And this will help you focus on your learning efforts and make sure that you're acquiring the knowledge and skills that you need. You can see an example of troubleshooting a software bug, for example. Identify the required skills, like ability to analyze the error message, identify the root cause, implement appropriate solutions, and now you can know, what the required knowledge is. Understanding of software, debugging techniques, programming language concepts, problem solving. So you see, probably you would not even think about this particular knowledge if you just start in searching everything around this troubleshooting, right? You would probably read a lot of theory, maybe watch online tutorials, but I'm not sure that you will probably think about problem solving, which is an also required skill here, and it requires some knowledge in this field. All right, so some tips on how to sustain and keep this strategy. First of all, create a task checklist. For each task, list the specific information and skills you need to complete, and do not try to keep it in your memory, just extract it. Believe me, our brain is not capable of keeping that much information, in operation all the time. So that's why create checklists, create notes. You can use some tools for that, So this will keep you consistent. Of course, research the information that you need. Online resources, books, any material that can help you, but have some tightly focused materials. Yeah, you can try searching different sources, comparing them. That's also cool technique. Critical thinking, yeah, but the main point, do not spend a lot of time on like huge theory books. Yeah, sometimes they are just useless if you're pressed with time. And of course, do not skip the tools that we have these days, like AI tools, for example. There are lots of wonderful websites that can help you practice your knowledge a little bit faster. And never be afraid to seek help from experts or maybe your colleagues who have similar skills. If you're struggling to understand some concept, do ask a colleague, a mentor, or maybe some teacher for help. This will save you a lot of time and effort. So failing to plan and define your learning objectives is like working on a project without any clear requirements and scope. Leads to confusion, wasted effort, and potential failure. So your learning is your project, so you can use almost all the same methods, yeah, and approaches to keep it up and running. So here we go to our second mistake that Alex made, and I saw this answer in our chat. Yeah, he didn't have a learning schedule, no structure. So a more efficient and effective approach would involve breaking down learning into smaller chunks. Maybe you heard about bite-sized learning. Yeah? That means that you're dividing large learning like material or maybe goal into smaller, and complex tasks will be again overwhelming, frustrating, leading to procrastination. But if you have like bite-sized learning, which is short, which is limited, your brain will just not have enough time to get overwhelmed, yeah, and you will learn everything better. So that's why set some realistic time limits. Allocate a specific amount of time for each task, but ensure that's achievable, right? Do not set yourself a goal to read a book in a day. Of course, that will lead to really bad result. But even if you give yourself just 15 or 30 minutes at a time, yeah, these sessions will add up. Of course, they should be regular. So that's why it's always better to have 15-30 minutes every day than having 1 or 2 hours of studies per week. And to help yourself stick to your plan, schedule dedicated study time. You can block out specific time slots in your schedule for focused learning sessions. Try to find some suitable study environment and aim to study at the same time each day of the week. This will establish a routine, a habit, and you will not need to tell yourself that I have to study, right? You will just do it like you're drinking coffee in the morning. So remember that learning is a continuous journey. It takes time, it takes effort, and consistent practice to achieve your goal. Well, but sometimes we are doing some tasks again and again, but still have no result. So here we come to one more mistake. Pretty popular one, I should say. I've seen a lot of my students making the same one. So Alex focused on repetitive practice tasks with no challenge, so he couldn't develop a deeper understanding. He was trying to find some online tests to practice some terminology. Yeah, we remember that he was struggling with the financial domain. But the tests were like pretty similar, right? He got bored pretty fast. And of course, lack of challenge leads to decrease of your studies and motivation. So when you try to solve something, when you have a challenge, when you face some setback, when you have made a mistake, but you still keep trying again and again, that's how your learning is getting improved. Even if you do not succeed at first, guys, keep trying. This effort helps your brain remember things much better in the long run. And actually, mistakes, it's a great technique to improve your learning. When you've made a mistake, you will remember this information much better than when you just learned it, answered a question in the right way, and just forgot about it. So try to solve problems that are just a bit harder than you're used to. Yeah, so try to find maybe some tests online, so practice tasks that have different levels and steadily increase it. So let's say you're a designer and you'd like to improve your skills and you want to use design principles better. So what would be your challenge ladder in this case? So first of all, to remember some particular design principles, you can create a checklist for yourself. You've studied some theory, so now give your brain some time to process and translate this information into the language that it speaks. So create your own cheat list or maybe checklist of these design principles. Then you need to give your brain some time to understand it. So here you can summarize in your own words the design principles, create your own definitions, find some associations, Then you need to apply, of course, this knowledge, because theory without practice means nothing, of course. So you can fix some elements in your previous projects, or you can find some project online and try to fix some particular elements so that they are based on the design principles. Then try to analyze, Analyze whether your decision worked, whether these elements really improved. If you are studying not alone, or if you have a study buddy, someone who is learning with you, or if you can find some particular projects online, for example, then a nice step would be to evaluate, compare different types of projects and evaluate someone else's work. And then you are ready to create your own new elements, and I'm sure that these mockups will be for sure based on the 4 design principles, because you gave yourself time to process and acquire this skill, and you practiced it and you increased the challenge level for yourself. So you see, it's like cycling, Going upwards all the time is so exhausting. But when you have some time to think about it, then for sure you can increase the level and go even higher. So here we move into our mistake number 4. And again, I guess everyone can remember themselves cramming for exams, reading texts, notes again and again, trying to memorize some information better. Well, Alex used the same principle here. This looks to be a pretty efficient and easy way, right? But scientific research suggests that these learning methods actually are not very effective for our brain. So, a bit of science, guys. What's going in your brain when you're learning something new? You're putting forth a lot of effort and you're using a lot of glucose, this simple sugar that is one of the primary sources of energy in our bodies. So basically, learning a lot of new information is like biking uphill. You make heavy use of such areas of the brain as your frontal cortex. It's the rational, reasoning, concentration-y part of the brain. And the problem is that it can overload pretty easily. I guess everyone had this experience of taking in so much new information that your brain kind of hurts. You're dizzy, you do not understand anything. So learning in the brain is facilitated by a process that is known as neuroplasticity. Maybe someone heard about it. Wave in the chat if you know something about it and the brain processes of learning, guys. Will be nice to know if you know it. So neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to change and reorganize itself. And it happens in response to learning and experience. Scientists say that neurons that fire together wire together. So what does it mean? When you're learning, the repeated firing of certain neural circuits creates a stronger connections between your neurons. Over time, this can lead to long-lasting changes in the brain structure and function. So your learning is really reshaping your brain. With repeated practice, these connections become stronger and more efficient, and it makes it easier to use this new information. That is why practice is so important when learning new skills. It's like you are transforming your brain all the time. And every time you repeat something, it gets it even better and stronger. So you can ask me then, why rereading text doesn't work, like he was doing everything right? Yeah, but here is the trick. You are to do it right. Yeah, it's not enough to just repeat again and again and again. You have to be active in your learning. So we had this comment, yeah, once again we have a bingo here. So you have to be active. If you are reading something or if you are just watching some online tutorials, be an active learning. What does it mean? So when you just read a text, that's passive. But when you are generating some possible test questions as you read, when you are asking yourself some additional questions, when you create some quizzes, yeah, for yourself, like when you're teaching yourself, that's the active way. So this practice forces you to process this information more deeply, and that's how you identify the key concepts and you understand them better. So they say the best way to learn something is to teach someone. Yeah, that actually works. So teach yourself, be your own teacher, ask yourself questions. One more cool technique is retrieval practice, and it's really connected. What does it mean to retrieve? Yeah, it's like extracting something, taking it out. So that's about retrieving, taking the information out of your brain. So incorporate this practice in your study routine. This could involve recalling of the main ideas from a previous topic, or you can summarize some points from your yesterday's reading. A classic example of retrieval practice is using flashcards as a study tool. That's a really cool tool. First of all, while creating these flashcards, you're processing the information, and then you can set yourself a timer, for example, for like every second day or every third day, and get back to these flashcards, yeah, retrieving this information, answering some questions, or defining some particular maybe terms or equations, depending on what you want to learn. Yeah, so we have to be active learners. I know that's sometimes hard, yeah, because we have habit of being passive learners. Probably that comes from schools, yes, and universities, where we had to attend a lot of lectures and not always we could ask questions, right? So now try to change it. Ask yourself questions, be curious. This will help. And we are coming to our mistake number 5, the final one. He forgot the things that he learned the next day. Again, I guess a lot of you, yeah, had the same problem. So here, a good idea is to find a study buddy. So having someone to share your learning goals, discuss concepts, and quiz each other is a wonderful way to enhance your understanding and retention of information. So engage actively in discussions with your study buddy, or maybe with your mentor, or if you join a learning group. Do not just, like attend the classes and keep silence there. Try to ask questions, try to have some arguments, clarify the concepts, share your insights. The more active you are, the deeper your understanding will be. So social support will also help you be consistent and maintain the habit. So you can ask, for example, your family or friends to reward you from time to time, like to keep track on your learnings and maybe reward you from time to time or punish you, right? Or at least you can use them, to tell them about your learnings. This will also help if you just tell them about what you studied yesterday. I do not mean that you have to lecture them. Let's keep them away from it, if they are not willing, of course. But that would be a nice idea to just recap, like what particular things you studied yesterday. Again, this will retrieve your information, right? So that's why studying in a group or just with one friend, that's a really wonderful way to keep you motivated and consistent. So here we are with our 5 main mistakes, but we have some really cool science-backed tips for you. Before we move on, guys, maybe you have your own tricks, your own methods that really help you learn something. Maybe you've developed some particular strategy for your learnings. Let's share. Or maybe we have already some questions. I will look through your answers and please share more ideas if you have them. Oh, I can see we have wonderful smart goals here. Okay, here we go. Strategy before practice. Okay, like think about it, before you start it. Okay, I see a wonderful message from Piotr, right? Practice was like one of the main solutions actually, right? But you have to do it right. Like set the goal, then challenge, repeating. You're right. It involves everything. You just have to do it right. So you keep forgetting. We have a message that I forget a lot of new information next day or week because you do not retrieve it, right? Because you do not ask yourself questions while reading that. Or maybe you're even thinking about something else while reading it. That happens pretty often. So try to keep it active. Encourage. Of course, you have to encourage yourself while achieving your goals. For sure. Handwritten cards, right? That's what actually I'm going to talk about next. Structured steps to achieve something. Wonderful. Small steps are really good and important. Right, guys? You've got it. Everything is right. So practice, structure, goals. Okay, we have one more wonderful comment. I think realistic goals are key. Often people are too ambitious and later get discouraged when they fail. Right, yes, that's what I said at the beginning, right? Set some achievable goals, right? Do not get disappointed later. And not being harsh on yourself, right? These are wonderful ideas, guys. So let me share a little bit more, some other learning strategies. So 2 first points are actually, again, connected to neuroscience. And that's about the connection between our eyesight and brain. So actually, the way we look at things, literally can a little bit change the way we perceive these things. So if you struggle getting focused, actually your eyes can help you. So you can get focused by staring at a point for like 30-60 seconds before starting a task. Just stare somewhere and your brain will understand that, okay, time to focus. I have to be concentrated, and then your learning session will be much, much better. And actually, according to science, the best learning session lasts not more than 90 minutes. So if we are talking about proper learning, of course, if we are talking about bite-sized learning, 15-30 minutes per day is a really good amount. Next one that is again connected to our eyesight is the position of your screen. Actually, mine right now is a little bit lower than it should be. Yeah, so your screen is to be slightly above or at the eye level. It will maximize your alertness. If you look down, it activates the neurons that are related to calmness and sleepiness. So when you look up, it does opposite. So you're alert, you're focused, you're concentrated. And of course, maintain this upright posture. It again really influences the way our brain is getting focused, yeah, because if you're a little bit leaning, yeah, or maybe you're trying to almost lie on your desk, in this case, your brain will slowly get sleepy. One more thing that I actually use almost every day at work, background noises. It's not only for studying, this can also improve your concentration while working. But I'm not talking about some, upbeat music here. Yeah, nothing that can distract you from work. I'm talking about like pink, brown, gray noises. Yeah, like there are many of them actually. So you can experiment with them. You can find the one that you like the most. I do use the website that is called mynoise.net. It offers you immersive tracks that you can customize. My favorite is always some like rain sound or forest sound, but of course you can use just white noise if it helps you. And these can be beneficial for work periods or study periods for up to 45 minutes. Then you have to have a short break actually. Talking about rewards and not be too hard on yourself. Of course, reward yourself, but do not reward yourself every time. If your reward becomes predictable, your brain just takes it as it is, and it's not a reward anymore. It's not motivating anymore. So try to do it randomly, not regularly. Again, you can ask your friends, yeah, like from time to time to reward you with something or to give you some nice gifts maybe or something like this. Yeah, so try to make it random. One more thing, it's a little bit sad that it's here for me because I'm not a really person who's into sports, but exercise is a must. And exercise before you study is even better. So when you exercise, your body interprets this physical stress as if you are fighting or fleeing an enemy. And it gives you this oxygen, right, that is needed for your survival. It comes to your brain and it floods it with extra blood, so it makes your brain think much better. So, and it has been demonstrated and scientifically proven that exercise can lead to the creation of new brain cells. Previously, they thought it was impossible, but these days they've proven that exercise can really help you. So that's why try to have some training before your studies. Well, one more thing that was mentioned in our chat, taking handwritten notes. Well, yeah, these days we have so many tools that can help us do it quicker, yeah, and probably in a more literate way, but taking notes by hand enhances both your comprehension and retention. Possibly because you are forced to put things in your own words, right? Because usually when we take notes, we are thinking about them. And the way you move your hand, again, once again, helps your brain to process this information. So take notes by hand. And you can even use different hands, I guess. Everyone knows about this trick, yes, like trying to use your left hand if you're right-handed, or left one if, or right one if you're left-handed, right? It also can stimulate your brain activity. The main difference between adults and kids is that kids learn everything for the first time. Yeah, everything is new. But adults already have some experience. So you build your knowledge on something you already know. That's why try to associate your new skills, your new knowledge, at least in some part, with something you already know. Try to find some similarity between different concepts. And then you only have to learn the differences. Yeah, this will be much faster to learn new things. And the final tip is to insert some micro rest intervals randomly. What I mean here is that you are to use these 10-second pauses, which allow your neurons, to engage in a pattern of neural activity, which results in faster neural repetitions. And remember, the more they wire, the more they fire together, right? So it helps your brain to process the information you are learning and store it in your memory. So from time to time, for 10 seconds, just stop, and think about it. So right now, guys, let's stop and think about it. What learning actually is. Is learning enough? What do you think, guys? Is learning enough, this process? Will it actually change anything in my behavior? Is it that easy? I guess you have learned a lot of different things, but if you didn't put them into practice, if you didn't start using them on a daily basis, I guess pretty quickly you forgot about them. So learning is a crucial tool for behavior change, but learning isn't the only needed thing to help you change. So you should also consider the following. Access. Do you have access to the tools and resources you need to change your behavior? Let's say your project is incorporating unit tests, and if you do not have any access, if you do not have any testing framework on your computer, how can you use that, right? I know that's a pretty simple example, but even here, it will be just impossible. Time. Do you have the time to change your behavior? Again, if you want to start code reviewing, like your, for example, colleagues' code, do you have enough time in your schedule to do it regularly? You need some reminders. What will remind you to change your behavior? Because like the first day, you're really motivated, you'll do it. Second day, again, maybe. But the third day, if you do not have any reminder, your brain will just forget about it, because again, that's too much work. So you can set some reminder on your calendar, or you can create some checklists for daily tasks. So try to remind yourself that I have to do it. And of course, just do it, right? Because I know sometimes we just skip some things, because we do not have enough time or for any other reasons. And one more thing that can help you is habit bundling. I think that many people read Atomic Habits, right? And the author tells about this technique of habit bundling. So it's when you take your existing habit and try to tie it to the one that you want to start doing. Let's say that you have a habit of drinking coffee in the morning, my favorite habit. So I will never forget to do that. And I tell myself, every time I drink my wonderful cup of coffee, I will, maybe take a short lesson on French vocabulary. So I will take some app and complete a few practice tasks. Or maybe I will read an article about emotional intelligence every morning, right? So, of course, you'll need some time and consistency, some reminders, some access to that. But when you keep doing that, it becomes a habit. It becomes your routine. And you do not need any effort to complete it. And once again, crucial thing, social support. So, join some community. Ask your friends to help you. Do not stay alone with your knowledge and learnings. You need some company to do that. And if you have to change someone's behavior, again, that's a teamwork, right? Alone without your team supporting you, that's probably, again, is not leading anywhere. So I guess we have this formula, this equation of successful learning. So it takes effective learning strategies, consistent practice, and growth mindset to have active learning practices, not just passive ones. So by combining these things, you can empower yourself to achieve your goals much better. But remember that the true power of knowledge lies in its application. So the goal is not just learning itself, but using that knowledge to make a real difference by improving your work. So, and I have a few recommendations for you here. If you'd like to know a little bit more about our brain and the learning processes, you can try the books like How We Learn or Make It Stick. And if you're into science, into growth mindset, into some leadership skills, then I recommend you these three podcasts: The Learning Leader, Growth Mindset, and my all-time favorite, Huberman Lab, which will help you to use science to improve your life.